shaking and dancing and dancing and dancing my green juice. I have got 6 minutes to the sunrises, and I'm 6 minutes away from the beach. Maybe even less because car, it's still warming up. You know, you're supposed to wait. Oh, car's dry. Car's warm, sorry. But hands down. Can't even talk now, guys. All right, let's go. Let's go. In Australia, you cannot be touching your phone when you are driving. No touching. But we are doing podcasting with Dora. So, guys, oh my gosh, I need a break from editing. I love editing, but if you've been following me or subscribing, you know I'm applying for a role / competition for, it's called The Best Job in the World. That's what it's called. It's a Jayco RV correspondent role in Australia. Okay, guys, I'm in Australia. G'day, mate. So if you're from the Northern Hemisphere, which a lot of people that do subscribe to me are from the Northern Hemisphere, they know Jayco because Jayco do trailers and pop-up campers and caravans. So they're all around the world, but there's a Jayco Australia, which is just Australia, right? So the job is that you get a 1-year contract, a salary, and they give you a van or whatever you can tow. I have a Subaru Forester, so I could tow something. I don't have a tow ball, but I could tow something like I could tow a pop-up camper, I guess. But, you know, you also need to have the skills to be able to tow a pop-up camper, just saying, because there's a story about when Diego and I lent a pop-up camper from my sister, and yeah, it didn't end great. It ended with calling the RACQ on a public holiday, so public holiday rates. It was very expensive. Mistake that we did. So hello, if you're in the chat, I can't actually read you because I'm driving and I shouldn't try to read you. So hands are on the wheel. We are popping down to the beach. The sun is rising 1 minute earlier than yesterday. So yesterday it was 6:30 a.m. it rose. This morning it is 6:29 a.m. So interesting, hey? So it must go backwards a minute every day. So like we're in winter now. So we're the opposite to the Northern Hemisphere. In the Southern Hemisphere, we are winter. And by summertime, you got Buckley's getting me up to see the sunrise because it's like 4:30 a.m. So this is the only time I get to see it. Or if it's holidays, like, you know, if I'm flying out really early in the morning to a holiday, of course I'll get up early. Pleasure to get up early and see the sunrise from the car while I'm going to the airport or a hike. So for hiking, I will get up early. I will begrudgingly want to roll back over into bed, but I will get up because I love hiking, right? It is 13 degrees, so I don't know what that is in, you know, the Northern Hemisphere, but it's 13 degrees here. Yeah, it's not so bad. Got leggings and a lighter jumper today, sweater. Oh, yes. So yesterday's sunrise was pretty wild. It had clouds, and today it's no clouds at all. So it's completely different contrast. Actually, there is a couple of random clouds. There is a couple of random, not many. It's a completely different sunrise this morning than what it was yesterday. So yeah, if you watched my live yesterday or watch a live, this is a start. You don't need to watch lives after they're done. You know, you don't need to watch them. But I do put in the comments like what's important to see, or if you want to have, you know, something to see in it. So I did put in there when I did my jumping for joy. So yeah, and that's like at the sun rising, clouds and stuff. We are at the beach. We are at the beach. We are at the beach. We're at the beach. We closed that. Let me show you. Let me show you. See, the sun is going to rise soon. No clouds. Wowzers. Now, I'm drinking my green juice. All right, guys. Car off. You know, there's a lot of people around in the mornings, to be honest. I think a lot of other people, you know, like me, that want to exercise in the morning because it's good for us. That's why I do it. All right. Oh, that's what I got. Headphones. So, hello, who's in the chat? Hey, Jazz, how you going, mate? Oh, and Mike, how you going? Oh, we're just catching the sunrise. And I just need my headphones, like a good YouTuber. Not a... Okay, guys. I will say hello in a second. I'm just trying to get myself organised because, you know, that's hard, sometimes a bit hard. All right. Let's get out of here. Oh, yes. So it is, oh, literally sunrise time, 6:29 people, 6:29 a.m. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave you in a bit in silence to let you admire the sunrise. If you want to meditate, whatever you want to do, I'll leave you for a couple of minutes because I'll do my jumping for joy. I do like a blessing because, you know, it is a blessing to see the sunrise or to wake up every morning. Like, you know, I think we take that for granted. I know I used to take it for granted. So anyway, I'm going to let you have a look at that. Put you down. Hey, I am. How you going? And there's Mike. There's Jez Bond. How you going? Hey, Maddie. How you going? I wonder if we'll see pelicans this morning. Jazz is just passing through. Hey, Jazz. A couple other people in the chat. Hey, guys. So this is the sunrise. It's 6:30 a.m. now. The sun is probably rising behind. There's a mountain there on the island there of Moreton Island. So the sun is probably rising on that side. And then we'll see the sun rise soon. Oof, I tell you, it's cold, guys. All right, so I'm going to put you down, guys, because... Okay, got the tripod out, which is my resident... Okay, there we go. Let me just say that you can see the sunrise. I'd hate for me to put it down and you don't see the sunrise. That'd be pretty bad, eh? That's it there? Yep, that's it there. Whoops. Okay. Just checking to see if I've got that even right. There you go, that's it. Sunrise for you. So guys, I don't know, did you see that? Or did I have it blocked the other way? It's sunrise. Hey Gina, how you going? It's the sunrise here in Queensland. It is 6:33 a.m. on a Thursday morning, guys. So welcome to the new day, new possibilities. This is my local beach. So it's always nice to look at the other side of the sunrise too, because, you know, there's other stuff happening. It's not just about the sun rising, it's about what happens around it. So we've got kind of low tide still, like yesterday. I love the low tide, like the sort of like sand flats. It's beautiful. Oh, okay, you couldn't see it. Oh, sorry guys. Oh well. I do have it on my other video. I'll post it later, guys. Sorry. Oh well. Doesn't matter, hey. All right. So how are we? Hey Mike, how are you? What's going on? I haven't actually visited your channel. Have you posted anything new? So guys, in the chat, Mike Adventures Sparks is a new subscriber that I just made friends with. I met him on a live actually. Can you guys hear me? I met him on a live, and yeah, actually no, I didn't meet him on live. I met him in the comments. That's right. I met you in the comments. That's right. Yeah, Gina, you can hear the birds. So beautiful, guys. I love this. Love, love, love seeing the sunrise. You're cooking dinner. Oh, that's nice. What are you having for dinner tonight? Well, there we go. It has risen. It's just on that little hill there, or mountain. I think that's called Mount Tempest. There's a mountain on that island called Mount Tempest. I've never climbed it, so I'm a huge hiker. I love hiking. I don't like rock scrambling as much. Like you're not going to see me like doing, rope climbing and stuff like that. That's not me. I like my skin on my body. But I do like a little scramble to get to the top of the mountain. And that is a sand island over there, Mount Tempest. So one day I'll do that. Yes, Gina, it'd be a great screensaver. I've actually got it. I mean, I don't know how many times I've come down here and taken videos and jumping for joys. So that's what I was doing. If you missed that, guys, I was doing a jumping for joy. I have my old phone that I videotape that stuff with. So now the decision of the day is: are we going to walk that way? We did walk that way yesterday, or are we going to walk that way? Now, the advantage of walking this way is that you guys get to see the sun kind of rising. If we go that way, you get to see, well, the sun is still rising. You just kind of get the hue, and then you get some aeroplanes. And okay, let's put it this way: there is more chance of seeing pelicans that way than this way. And I don't have a huge lot of time this morning because I've got to go to work this morning. Yesterday I had the day off, but I was really working. But I'll tell you about that a bit later on. So what are we going, guys? Left or right? Left or right? Either way is beautiful. That's true. Either way is beautiful. And you know what? I'm going to make an executive decision, guys. We are going that way. Yep, see the pelicans. I knew that people would say that. And I know Maddie will be back soon, and she'll want to see the pelicans too. All right, so I've got my bucket because we'll pick up rubbish. Okay, so we're just going to say a last little blessing. I just take that in. It's just so gorgeous. I'd love to know in the chat, guys, what's one thing you're grateful for today? I'll start. Honestly, I'm grateful that I had a really, really nice sleep and I woke up very refreshed. Okay, so we've got some rocks because it's quite low tide, guys. Normally, it depends on the tide, yeah, how low it is, but sometimes you don't see these rocks. You don't even know they're there, but it's quite low today. So the other advantage of low tide is you could see crystals on the ground. So sometimes you can find quartz and agate, and I'm collecting sea glass for a sea glass project I'm doing. Oh, so Gina, so you get to see the sunrise behind me now. So Gina, I'm from southeast Queensland in Australia. So I'm just about 30 minutes north of Brisbane. So Brisbane is the capital of my state of Queensland. We are on the northeast coast. Oh, yeah, east coast of Australia. So it's generally a lot warmer here. We don't snow in this state. So this is winter. I'm just in a light sweater and leggings. So it's not that cold. Literally a month ago, I was wearing a beanie and a scarf and maybe a warmer jacket through, like, when I'm walking in the morning. But as soon as the sun comes out, guys, it's actually really quite warm. So yeah, that's where I'm from. Gina, where are you from? Yeah, I think you're American, aren't you? So Mike Adventure Sparks, he's actually from Minnesota, but he's from Colorado originally. Now Mike's got here, I'm thankful for my son after a car accident today. What happened to your son? What happened? I'm glad he's okay. GA, so that's Georgia. So we have two Americans in the house. We have someone in the background, and we have an Australian in the house, me. So yesterday was interesting. Mike was on a chat with about 2 or 3 Australians in the chat, and then me, someone from the UK. It's always different. Like every morning is different, so it's great. I get to talk to different people. Sometimes they're the same people, but it's nice to see what everyone's up to. Show you the beach. So Heartily Happy is Gina, Mike. So as you probably saw yesterday in the chat, I like to know people's first names so I can kind of, talk to them by their first name. Some people don't like to give their first name, but that's okay. And so Heartily Happy is Gina, and she's from Georgia, fellow American to you. And she's actually been doing really, really well. I think, did you just get 800 subscribers or you just got over 1,000 subscribers? I can't keep up sometimes, but I know you've been doing really, really well. You've been getting lots and lots of views. She's been doing lots of live streams and doing really well over live streams. And Gina, she has her family on her lives. I've seen your son and your husband. So, okay, guys. Oh, you did go check out Paul D, yeah. I told you, you guys are quite similar. So, guys, since you missed my jumping for joy, I'm going to do something, okay, right? We're going to go in the storm drain. Now, we are safe, guys, okay? I'm not going to do anything silly. But, oh my gosh, I am quite tall. I am kind of struggling to get in here. There's a reason why I'm going in here, okay, guys? Just bear with me. Okay, so I've got my tripod. Pull these ears out. Okay, what we're trying to do is, I love a framed shot, guys. So I'm just going to frame it. Okay, is it framed? You're kind of framed. If I use the other camera, you would be framed. But this way I can guarantee you can see me. Okay, I'm kind of framed. Right, let's let's make sure that I'm not brown ironing you when I come out of here, because we're bad. Oops. All right, let's get out of this stormwater drain. I'm all about adventures, guys. I do random things like this all the time, but in a safe way, guys. I'm all about safe. Let's plug you back in. Okay, so so it's not that scary, Gina. Look, I'll show you. Like, if it was raining, I wouldn't come through here. I'm not going all the way down there too, right? I'm pretty tall, so I can't fit in there. So normally, guys, that sand is not that high, so I've got more room to stand in there. But because the sand is built up today, every day it can change. Sometimes it's really low, sometimes it's full of water, so you don't go in there. I'm not going deep down in there and venturing. Any snakes? No. No snakes in there. I mean, obviously, if you went further down, maybe. All right, let's walk. Honestly, Mike, it's another thing I'm really, really grateful for, that I live by the beach. I mean, you heard say yesterday on my live and my rambles that, I grew up, well, I was born in Brisbane Hospital, but I went to the country. So I lived for the first 7 years of my life in the country. We would come to this beach, actually, this location, Redcliffe, to have school holidays because my dad was a teacher. And then when my dad semi-retired, he chose to move the family here for more opportunity for us kids. So, I'm very grateful that I get to call this place my home now. I've lived here now most of my life. A lot of my friends have moved away. They didn't want to stay where they live, when they went to school and stuff, but I liked to live where I went to school. I like to run into people. I'm a bit of a social butterfly, have a chat kind of person. So, I like to run into people, whereas some people don't like to run into people. And that's okay. Everyone is different, right? So I guess Georgia and Minnesota are not near the beach, but Minnesota, you have a big lake. I mean, Mike, you have a big lake in Minnesota. I don't really know much about Georgia, I've got to say. So, Gina, can you give me something about Georgia that, some fun fact about Georgia? Oops, I just stood over some sea glass. So that's a nice bit of sea glass, guys, because it's been already weathered by the water and the sand. Savannah has beautiful coastline, and that's in Georgia. Oh, look at that. See, that's a nice bit of sea glass, guys. We are putting that down there. Now I'm going to have some more of our green juice that I haven't had yet finished off, while you guys just, talk amongst yourself or look at that sunrise. It's so beautiful. You're near Atlanta, so no beach near me. Okay, so Mike, sea glass is really a bottle, like a glass bottle that's been discarded into the ocean and broken up. So I'll find someone when we're walking that you can see it's only just a fresh bottle, so it's a bit sharp. But being in the water, being against the tide, going back and forth against the sand, it actually softens the glass, so it's more rounded, so it's nice to touch and it looks nice. But apparently, real sea glass, and I don't know if this is true or not, guys. This is what my partner says, and he could be pulling my leg, right? Is sea glass is sand that over the years has turned into glass. That is a thing. I've just never seen it myself. But yeah, basically I'm picking up rubbish that's dumped on the ground, basically, right, guys? Like yesterday I was picking up rubbish and, putting in my little bucket, because again, I don't want these poor pelicans that we get to see. I'm sure they're up here. They're always up here. So guys, I'm just having some green juice. I'm choking on it at the moment. My morning always involves having a bit of movement and a bit of green juice. So there's a couple of people down on the beach watching the sunrise with their cameras out, which is nice. I always like seeing that. Okay, we are done. Okay, we can walk. Okay, so, oh my gosh, Mike, so what happened to your son yesterday? I'm all ears now. Do you mind asking, like, I know he's okay, which is amazing, but what actually happened with the accident? Oh, honestly, Gina, I look at my alarm every night, and set it to what time the sun rises. Not every morning, should I say. Like a couple times a week I do Pilates, so I get to sleep in a little bit. But my normal routine is a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Thursday. I jump out of bed to see the sunrise and then do a walk on the beach. I don't always just walk on the beach. There is a track up here, so you can see people walking just up here. So there's a boardwalk and a track that pretty much goes all the way around this peninsula. So, Gina, where I live, a place called Redcliffe, it's got a population of about 30,000 people, and it is suburbia, right? Like by the beach, you're going to have more high rises and more the flashy houses. Oh, just a bit further up here, there's a bit of a house here. It's behind that big palm tree. It's a bit of an eyesore, and there's a lot of apartments here. But when you go back of the beach, there's more normal houses. So I live in a normal house. I live I'm 5 minutes away, 6 minutes if I don't get through the light. So I'm not that far drive. If I walk down here, it's going to take me probably 40 minutes. I mean, I've done it a few times. Or ride the bike down, probably take about 15 minutes. But yeah, I do tend to drive the car down because I tend to do more. I'd rather walk by the beach than walk, in the streets. So, and look, I am a bit of an overachiever. I like to get my 10,000 steps in. So I know you guys are in the Northern Hemisphere, so you're talking miles. So steps is easy for you. Everyone knows the same steps. But generally, the track I normally do, which is where I park my car that way, I always go that way mostly and around to the other side of the peninsula where the sun sets normally. But in the mornings, I do that, and I do about a 9 kilometre walk, which is probably, I don't know, maybe 4 miles. I don't know. Not sure exactly, guys. But I do that a couple of times a week. Okay, so Mike, this is a bit of sea glass. It's started to be a bit weathered. It's not sharp, but you can see it's still a little bit, I mean, it's not going to hurt you, right? But it's not nicely rounded yet. I would say that's rubbish and chuck that away. Okay, so we'll put that in the bucket and we'll chuck that away later. And it's amazing how much sea glass you actually find on the beach. Like, I'll stop every couple of minutes or seconds because there's actually quite a lot. So that's a big chunk of glass. I don't think it's been in there for that long, but just because it's not completely soft. I mean, it's not rounded yet, and it is a bigger bit of glass. So my aim for walking along this beach and finding sea glass is that I'm doing different projects with the sea glass. So Gina, I think when you first caught me on a live, I was training for a 30-kilometre walk, which is an 18-mile walk. It's a walk I do yearly for mental health awareness. I lost a good girlfriend to mental health, so I'm a big advocate. So I trained for a month, and that's where these lives came from. Basically, walking along the beach, and I take you on my little walk with me, and I started collecting sea glass. Sea glass, so that after the walk, which was 2 weeks ago, last Friday, that I would do projects with them. So in the chat, I've had lots of different people in the chat that I've made friends with, and they've given me some really good ideas. So, and then also walking on the beach, I run into people too and have chats to people also. So one of the big ideas is that I'm going to do a live with a channel called Heather's Backyard. She's originally from Canada, and she is living in Ireland now. So really, she's got a really interesting channel. It's all that homesteading and then a bit of travel in Ireland, which, who doesn't love? Oh, look at this, guys. That is probably a bit of quartz, guys. I don't know if you can see that really well. Hey, Susan, how you going? I'm back. Hey, Susan, I did actually get your email, but I was a little bit manic yesterday, and I didn't want to just say, hi, got it, bye. Couldn't give you the loving I would like to give you in an email, so I just thought I would just tell you if I saw you on a live. That is really nice, guys. That is a bit of quartz, I'd say. Hey, Susan, how you going? I did get your email, if you heard me say, and I kind of got it on the fly, and I just went, yep, got it. But then I thought, no, I can't just say that. We've just made friends on an email. I can't just say, hi, got it, bye. I need to, put a little bit more into it. So I thought I would tell you if I saw you at a live, and then I'd send you a better email when I have a bit more time. So what I've been up to, guys, I did tell Mike. So High Country Homestead is Susan, and Heartily Happy is Gina, and Mike Adventures Sparks. Well, he must be Mike, and I think there's someone else in the background lurking. I don't know if it was Maddie or someone. So anyway, Susan. Yeah. So I don't know how. Gina, do you know Susan? No, or you just know because I'm now talking to Susan. So Susan, Gina is Heartily Happy. She's from Georgia, and she's got a very interesting channel. She's got a nice personality. She has her family a lot on her lives, and it's nice to see just the family connection too. And look, your lives have been doing really, really well, Gina. So yeah, if you'd like to check each other out, you're welcome to. It's anyone's. You can do what you want in the chat. I don't care. But I just thought I'd just explain, why I say Gina, why I say Susan, because sometimes people are like, who are you talking about? Because I kind of forget that not everyone knows everyone, because it's the big world out there with YouTube. So Susan, it was a nice sunrise this morning. There's no clouds. Remember yesterday it was really quite cloudy, but it was beautiful yesterday. So today was quite just straight up. And in true Dora form, I had the camera faced kind of the wrong way, so people couldn't see the sunrise. Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. So anyway, guys, see these guys up here walking? That is a club called the Man Walk, and they walk on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, again, talking about mental health, I did that walk for 30 kilometres or 18 miles last month. Well, this month, should I say. Oh my gosh, it was this month. And that's just another organisation that get men together. They don't need to know each other, but they all walk together on a Tuesday and a Thursday morning. So it's important. I mean, I don't know, Mike, I don't know how long, I mean, sorry, I don't know about you personally, obviously, but just generalizing, but men are not, guys that really talk about their feelings much, where women, we dump on our girlfriends all the time, right? Again, generalizing, not everyone is the same, but in the world of mental health, there is a lacking of, representation for men because men don't seem to seek the help and then they take other alternatives to fix the problem. So, anyway, we're not here to talk about mental health today. We're talking about, well, what are we talking about today? I don't know. We just let the chat kind of make itself up, really, to be honest. Yesterday was an interesting chat. So, Mike has asked, how long have you been with Diego? Too long. Oh, gosh, no. So, Diego and I have been together. This is our 8th year together. My gosh, guys, less for murder. Oh, no. Yeah, so 8 years. We are not married. I doubt we'll get married. I've never been married. I never was that girl that saw myself in the white fluffy dress, getting married, walking down the aisle with their dad. Oh God, no, I never saw that. And I never saw myself having children. And to my mum's disappointment, that was true. I didn't have children. I am a selfish one. But you know what? I'm selfish for the right reasons because there are a lot of people that have children that are not, they don't want a parent. And, I chose the right decision because, as you know, I love traveling and my life would have been completely different. And look, who's to say? It might have been better if I had children. Who knows? I chose not to, or was lucky that I never got pregnant. It could be the other way around. I had a couple of, longer relationships in my life. So before I was with Diego, I was in a 10-year relationship. I wasn't married de facto, had a house together, didn't learn my lesson because I've done exactly the same thing with this relation, have a house, we're not married de facto. But in between that, to solve a broken heart, well, not really, I wasn't broken hearted from breaking up with that guy. I actually went to live in Mexico. So there's a big part of my story of living in Mexico. Mexico has a big significance in my life. I went there when I was 25 years old. So that was 25 years ago. I was I was living in Cape Cod, actually, in Massachusetts. I wasn't legally working there, but I was illegally working there, as you do. I was selling timeshare. Oh, it's not too late. No, I definitely don't want children. Sorry, Gina. Not for me. I have a niece. I have 2 nieces. So that's the closest I want to get to children. Um, so Diego and I, and look, I got to say, Diego's a really good fit for me. He he puts up with my craziness. Let's go with that, okay? I'm sure he doesn't love my craziness. I'm a very independent kind of lady, and I'm probably a lady that probably should be by herself. But it is nice to have someone to share life with. I'm going to be honest. I know Susan. So, Susan, okay, yeah, you don't think you'll get married either. But Susan is a single mum living on 360 acres of land. She is strong, staunchly independent. And look, I'm sure she would, if she found the right guy to fit in her life, you know, welcome him in. He'd have to also be, handy around the farm, wouldn't he? But it is harder in today's lifestyle to, to fit people into your life. And I know that's a different kind of ethos to a lot of people say, well, yeah, there's a different ethos for different people about relationships, and that's okay. We're all different. But I choose to be who I am. Yep, Susan, you're right. People don't like independent women. And we're talking about men, Mike. Sorry, we're kind of bashing men at the moment. But men, you're saying I made it to 22 years. You made it to 22 years? They can be expensive. Yeah, they're right. Like, I mean, okay, see you, Gina. Um, yeah, look, are you still with your partner of 22 years? Are you kind of saying that you made it to 22 and that's it, or you've made it to 22 years this year? Look, I'm going to be honest. Like, I see relationships of some of my friends, and they are so connected, as in, like, and I say it in a bad way, connected, as in, like, they can't actually do anything by themselves, right? I'm sorry if this is you personally, Mike, in your relationship, or if this is Gina in the background in your relationship, or whoever's listening in your relationship. As I said, this is just my point of view. Um, I'm not pushing it on anyone. I'm just, Mike asked me about, my relationship, so I'm telling. But, I am not one of these people that needs to be held all the time. Like, even with my girlfriends, like, back in the day, they're like, oh, I need to go to the toilet. Can you come with the toilet with me? Like, when we're in a nightclub. And I'm like, I'm not here to be anyone's handbag. Like, I'm happy to dance on the dance floor by myself, right? You go to the toilet, I'll see you later. But, some people, like, can't do that. They have to have someone with them all the time, whether it be a girlfriend, as like a girl at a friend. I'm not talking a relationship, because I'll be clear at this present moment. Um, so I grew up with girlfriends being quite needy, and that's the worst thing for me. I don't want to be a handbag for any of my girlfriends. But I want to just go together somewhere and hang out and have some fun. I don't need to. Yeah. Anyway, rant over there. So, and then in relationships, I see. Okay, I'll tell you about a guy I was seeing for 6 months, and he was like a love bomber. He would be texting me non-stop all day, and all night, and oh, you're so beautiful, this and that. And like, it got to a stage where I started kind of thinking to myself, I don't think he actually thinks I'm beautiful. I think he thinks I need to hear that. And there's a difference, right, guys? And like, he couldn't do anything by himself. Like, I, for example, went to like a wedding and he wasn't invited because they didn't know him. So why would they invite him? It's only a new relationship. He got really upset. He's like, oh, how come they didn't invite me? I'm like, because A, they don't know you, and we've only just started seeing each other in the last 6 months. So why would they invite you? You know? So, and again, I'm happy to go to weddings by myself. Okay, that is a nice bit of chunk. Yeah, Susan, I know you're not like that because I think we're very similar. So, Mike, that is a really nice bit of sea glass, guys. Yeah, and look, that's probably why I am who I am. And look, I'm not perfect, guys. I'm far from it, right? Um, but, I know that there's certain things that I like in my life and there's certain things I don't like. And I think that some people settle for things. And like, I know people could be listening in the background going, hey, Dora, like, sometimes people settle for things for different reasons. And they do. You're right. There is different reasons to settle for different things. And but there's also a lot of people that are very, very sad in relationships, in themselves. And then, for example, those couples that are, you know, joined at the hip, they can't do anything by themselves. Then, their partner leaves them for potentially another person, or they pass away, or they just decide to break up for some reason, and then they're left with really like their shells because they can't do anything by themselves. They have to seek out another person quickly because they can't be by themselves. And that's, this is the world we're living in that, oh my gosh, look at this. Okay, Mike, this is rubbish. That is a bottle. You can see that's a Coke bottle. So you can see the Coke sign on it. I don't know if you can see that, guys. But that's rubbish. But that's sea glass, basically. If that was chucked in the ocean, back and forth, it would get smoother. It's not that sharp, but again, on the right angle, that was sticking out of the ground on the right angle, you'd cut yourself. And see again, that is sharp, guys. That is rubbish. Again, get it off the beach. because, you know, a lot of people walk on this beach with no shoes on, which I do sometimes. So you just, yeah, pick it up. So anyway, yeah, so there's pros and cons to everything, right? And it's a choice. And yeah, I made the choice. I have a lot of girlfriends, some girlfriends, so not a lot, that chose also not to have children for their own different reasons. And I have some girlfriends that really, really wanted children, and it just never worked out for them. So, and it's, you know, there's friends that really wanted children and couldn't have them because of, you know, their health. And that breaks my heart because I know how desperately some people do want children. But there are some people in this world that actually just want children so that they can feel loved, and that breaks my heart. I don't know if that's, you know, good or bad really in this world. To raise a child that, you know, is so reliant on, you know, their mother's so reliant on them, and then they want to have their own life. You hear the stories, right? Like that there are some women that want children that because they don't have a partner and they don't feel loved, so they have, you know, they have a baby by artificial insemination, and then that child goes to, you know, off to college, and then the mum's broken again. So anyway, that's it. Mike, I don't know how when you asked me about my relationship, I went into a total spiel. Sorry, guys. People in the background will be like, what are they talking about? How does Dora go from Explorer Dora 80, which is a travel channel, to walking on the beach, talking about mental health, talking about homesteading yesterday, which I absolutely love talking about, to relationships. And yesterday we were in the chat talking about the horoscope. Oh my god, I can't even say the word now. The atrocities that happened in Poland and well, in Germany and Europe, I guess World War II. So, Mike, I know you were on the chat. I think Susan, you'd already left by that stage. We were talking to Peter from the UK, who's got Polish descent. So I watched the video that he put in the chat, and it talked about, I don't know if you did guys watch it or not, but it was only a 1-minute video, and it showed a room full of people. It was quite an old video, a room full of people, and they were interviewing a lady. They said, you know, what's your name? And, you know, do you realize you're sitting next to a guy that he's the guy that saved you? So this one guy saved a massive amount of people, young children from a concentration camp from getting murdered, basically. And they were all in the room. So basically, there's money they could find. But then they said, you know, the interviewer said, oh, look, see, they're all the guys doing the man walk. I love that. I love to see, you know, people walking in nature or walking together. And, you know, that represents something really strong, guys. Like, you know, they're all guys that decided that they needed to have some kind of, you know, exercise in their life and some friendship in their life. So they choose to walk on a Tuesday and Thursday morning with each other. Anyway, again, side note. So yeah, the interviewer said, please stand up, everyone in the crowd that, you know, was saved by so and so. And everyone standed up. And then this one guy is sitting down, and this just shows this old man who saved all these children. It's just, wow. Like, honestly, the atrocities that happened in the World War II are just, yeah, that's a beautiful colour, guys. So anyway, I'll watch that. And then I shared with him a video. I've actually put it, if you're at all interested in that kind of information, in my community post, I shared a video from one of my friends in YouTube world. Her name is Izzy, and she's in America, living in America, but she's Polish. She's originally Polish mum and dad, and she came out here on some kind of visa, humanitarian visa back in the day to America. And she talks about her father's story, and he was in that particular really bad concentration camp, or squish. I can never say it. I've never been. Susan said that she's actually been. Actually, Susan, you've been to Poland, you said. Have you actually been to that concentration camp? Oh, Susan, I'm sorry about your son that passed away in infancy. And Mike, you obviously have one child. I know you talked about your child. And Gina, how many children do you have? Look at that chunk. That is a chunky monkey bit. That's a good bit. So I'm going to do a live with Heather that a few of you have met in the chat already. She's not in the chat today, but Heather is another homesteading kind of channel. And she said one day when she's listening to me talk about, picking up sea glass on the beach and all these pretty colours, because I like the pretty colours, right? Because it's hard to find the pretty colours. They're normally just the whites and the brown, the beer bottle colours, right? Or Coke bottles. She said, oh, I actually know how to make the jewellery. So we're going to do a live together. I just have to buy some silver and gold jewellery wire and some clasps. Oh, that is a big chunk of something. I don't know if that's quartz or agate. I am not completely up with all the crystals. But yeah, on the whole beach of the section, and then up further on this beach, there's another beach up further. There's agates and quartz crystals that you can find. That's something. Don't know what, but we're going to keep it. We like it. Okay, Susan, you didn't go to that concentration camp. And look, a lot of people choose not to go because it is very sad, isn't it? I mean, it's not something like you put on your bucket list, so to speak. But I've got to say, not that I know a huge lot about, World War II, but I know enough. And, when you have different friends in your life that tell you stories about, their family members, you're curious about what it would be like. And it's kind of like, not homage, paying a tribute or paying homage to, the fact that a lot of people passed away in that place. It's so sad. So another thing that you need to, when I look on the beach, I do pick up the rubbish. Like, I don't want a poor pelican. Actually, I haven't seen a pelican yet. I'm going to hang out down here, along here, because this is where the fishermen hang out. They're not here. I don't want a pelican to pick that up. Or a turtle or whatever. So I just pick it up and chuck it in the bin. You have 3 children. Okay, what ages are your children, Gina? So I'm always on the lookout for the coloured bits of sea glass. And when I do find a bit of coloured sea glass, I'm like jumping up and down in joy, literally. I have found a nice bit of like a lavender pink, a nice bit of blue. I found a bit of red yesterday, but I'm not sure if it's plastic, because I have thought I got really excited finding a bit of red last time, a few weeks ago, and I realised it was plastic. So I didn't really want to get that excited because, yeah, it was plastic. But you do find some greens. So green's probably the third common colour that you find on the beach. Clear is definitely outnumbers everything. Clear, like the clear bottle colour, or see-through bottle. Look, it's like a hook. That would make an interesting jewellery. Oh, cool, I like that. So, Susan and Mike, you heard me talking yesterday about I'm applying for a job with Jayco. Well, it's really a competition, right? And the competition is that you would win the right to use a Jayco van or pop-up camper or something to travel, and then they pay for your travel around Australia. And then in return, you have to make content for them, for their social media, and then obviously you can use it yourself. So basically you get paid to travel around Australia in a van. Who wouldn't want to do that, right? It's only open to Australians because they only want to market this to Australian people, because obviously Australian people are the people that are going to buy Jayco. But obviously, you know, the benefit will be that I've got people that follow me from, you know, other places other than Australia. But for this job application, which is due tonight, right? Nothing like the last minute, guys. Due tonight at 11:59 p.m. Well, it has to be in. I have to do a 1 minute video. In that 1 minute video, I need to tell why I would like to be the Jayco RV correspondent, where I would like to go in Australia, and how I would inspire people to want to go there. So, the day before last, I basically got home from work, changed into more Dora appropriate clothing. There was a few suggestions that said that I should dress up as Dora, which I have dressed up as Dora before, but I just thought, you know what, it's not my normal route. You know, I don't normally dress up like a brightly coloured Smurf. But I do have like an outfit that I always wear, like, you know, not always wear, but like, you know, my hat that I'm wearing on my head is very, you know, that's my Dora signature hat. Dora has to have a hat on, right? Because she's, you know, sun smart, right? And she always has to have a backpack on because she's carrying lots of things in her backpack. She's, you know, she's picking up stuff and, you know, needs to put it somewhere. Or she's carrying stuff in her backpack because, you know, if it's going to rain, she needs to carry a raincoat. And I have, you know, like just leggings and stuff, yeah. So basically, turn it around again, sorry. So leggings, yeah, so anyway, I've got an outfit on that, you know, looks more adventure style. Let's go with that, adventure style, not Dora style, adventure style. And yeah, I went down to the beach and I did a whole lot of filming. Mind you, I got 20 minutes, 21 minutes to be exact, of footage, right, on my video. And then I had to basically, out of that, come up with a couple of different options of a 1 minute video. And it's hard because there were so many different takes, so many different stories, so many things I want to say. But, you know, you can't fit in it. 1 minute's not a long time, guys. It's really not a long time. So, yeah, I've made 3 options. There's one that I'm really happy with, but I'm not super happy with it, as in like there's something missing out of it. So I have been sending it to all of my friends. I put it on my personal Facebook, you know, got roasted by lots of people, as you do. Like, you know, when you put yourself out on the internet, people do people do roast you, like as in not roast me, but like as in like, oh, you shouldn't wear your hat, I can't see your face, you shouldn't walk while you talk. But they probably didn't read the assignment. Like, you know, the assignment is to, you know, to make it interesting, to be a storyteller, to be adventurous. So like, I vlog a lot, guys. I walk while I talk. So that's why I vlog while I talk. So anyway, I got a lot of those kind of comments. They weren't very helpful when I'm trying to actually pick out the right video that I wanted to use. But amongst that fluff, I did get a lot of really good comments and good feedback that I could, you know, change and work on. So I'm down to, I've got to work today anyway, so I've got this afternoon to do a little tweak, and then I'm done. And I have to put a job application in, like as in a resume. So I actually have to update my resume. And I have to write a spiel, a couple of different spiels. I'm going to turn around, guys. And yeah, upload it to the world. So Gina has a 39-year-old, a 34-year-old, and a 27-year-old. Oh, boys! Oh my goodness. So they're the boys that I've seen on your lives. They're good-looking boys, Gina. Congrats. That must be very difficult to raise 3 boys. But I guess they're older now, so that, you know, they're probably very good boys, I'm sure. But I can imagine, you know, 3 boys growing up, well, there would have been a lot of energy, and yeah, you'd be like going from this sport to that place to that place. Mum's taxi. So that's how the sun has definitely risen now, guys. What a perfect day. How's the weather down in your place, Susan? What time is it down in your place? So I can never get it, eh? Like, there's different time zones in Australia. At the moment, it's winter time, so daylight savings doesn't come into play. But Melbourne is on a different time zone to Brisbane in general. You're back in an hour, aren't you? So if it's 7:23 a.m., it's 6:23 for you. So the sun is about to rise for you then, Susan, if you can see it on your mountain. It's probably quite foggy. Oh, no, oh, I've got that completely wrong. So you're the same time zone as us. It changes with daylight savings then. Right, okay. So this is really interesting, guys. I love the colour of the moss on the tree, on the rocks. So beautiful. So what's on the agenda today, Susan? What is the life of a homesteader really like? Tell us. Curious, like what's your average day? And if you don't want to share, it's fine. But if you'd like to share, share. Because, it is completely different to our lifestyles. Gina, I'm thinking you live in suburbia. Mike, I don't really know. Do you live in suburbia, or are you on, a bit of property in Minnesota? And you're in your PJ still. Oh, well, nothing wrong with that. You had a busy day yesterday riding lots of different stuff. So, yeah, maybe your days are very different. Like, I mean, you've got, ooh, look at this, guys. That's a nice bit of chunk. So that's some sea glass that definitely started to wear. Look at me looking like I'm a professional, like, sea glass collector. But that feels good. I like that. I like the colour too. You're an electrician, Mike. But do you live in suburbia? Like as in like the suburbs? Or do you live on some acreage? Because I'm guessing, yeah, I just presume that Gina does live in suburbia. I don't know why I just presume that. So Susan's saying, I get up, get dressed, put wood in the fire, kettle on the boil, go out, feed the animals, come back and have coffee. So Susan, what animals do you have on your property? That is what it was a dying question I had yesterday for you. And you might have said it, but I missed it. What animals do you have on your property? Electrician is such a good trade. Like, I mean, I bet you, like when you live on land, you kind of have to be handy at lots of different things, right? But being an electrician is one of those things that you can connect to solar. I mean, yeah, I mean, in the perfect world, that's a friend you need in your life is an electrician, just saying. So I'm sure, Mike, you have lots of friends. My partner, Diego, is a carpenter by trade / builder. So, he has, his friends are with other electricians, so they do trades off. So this weekend, Diego's renovating our house. So he's got a guy coming over to paint some stuff, and he's a professional painter. And then Diego will go over to his house next weekend to help him do a shed. And then he's got an electrician guy friend that has done some of our wiring for our house, hasn't billed him for it, asked for it. He goes, no, I want to do a swapsy. You got to come over and help me with, something he's doing in his house. So it's definitely really cool to be able to do that kind of bartering system. It kind of comes back to what we were talking about yesterday, Susan, about being able to, I don't know if I was talking about yesterday, but on one of my chats I was talking about, being able to barter product, or services, not so further distance. We went through that, the crazy pandemic where it looked like, fucking the world was going to shit, right? And maybe it still is going to shit, but, I'm trying to be positive, right? But, there was times that we were, technically weren't allowed to leave our houses and stuff like that. And, we had to rely on it like a little bit like, hey, neighbour, I've got lots of this. Can we swap this? But, wouldn't it be amazing that in real life, I talk about how I have excess stock of stuff sometimes, like I have too many tomatoes and I give them to the neighbours. I have too many chocos, I give them to the neighbours. If I have too many, mixed lettuces, I give some to the other neighbours. I've never got anything back from any of my neighbours. I don't expect it. You don't give to get back, right? But I would love the world that I live in this, street where all my neighbours are growing their own fruit and veg, and that we all do like a barter system. So we could, instead of buying stuff from the supermarket all the time, we get to, swap our produce. I am in a Facebook page where we can do that, but it's like once a month you go to a place, you put your things on a table, and you swap them with other like-minded people. So you can swap things you make, like cakes and stuff, or produce and honey. Yeah, so that's that's a nice thing too. But I do like the idea of being able to do that in my neighbourhood. So another question I'd like to know, Susan, is do you do that with your neighbours? See you, Gina. Okay, so you have... Okay, so Mike lives in the suburbs. Okay, so she has cows. You have cows, Susan, sheep, chickens, and 1 alpaca. Oh my God, that's right. And 3 little cats. So Susan, yesterday, you'd probably left the chat already, but I was saying, I hadn't realised because, I'm just busy rambling, that I was saying that in your cover shot of your YouTube video, you have an alpaca. And I was saying, I love alpacas, or a llama. I wasn't quite sure if it was an alpaca or a llama. And I was saying how much I love alpacas and llamas. You have an alpaca as a pet. Oh my gosh. How is that? Oh my, honestly, you live a very interesting life, Susan. Oh my gosh. How many cows do you have? Oh, sorry, I meant, yeah, Gina was going, sorry. I did read that. I just said the wrong name. Sorry. Okay, so Susan she does barter eggs, produce with people in town for the groceries I can't grow, like toiletries. Love that. Love that. Okay, so for example, can you kind of give us an example? So Mike, that is a really nice bit of sea glass, right? That is very rounded. Look, it's very, very rounded. Whereas this one here, that's just getting wet. See the difference? It's not so rounded. I mean, it's thinner, but it's not as rounded. Actually, no. I've got to find a like for like. That's not a good example. Just pretend I didn't say that, Mike. Just, yeah, keep on looking at the chat. I've got to show you like for like to make it make sense. I think I've already showed you though, right? Like, there is rubbish that's just basically rubbish on the beach. And then there's nice bits of sea glass that have been worn down a lot more. Okay, so Susan's got here. I have a dude that comes up and chops up all the firewood. In return, gets a trailer load for himself. For me, one for him. Yeah, love that. That is brilliant. That is so good. So my mum, who I talk about how she lives on the farm by herself, a lot smaller farm than Susan, but she has a lot of gum trees on her property, and they've got really, really big. Oh, look at this. What's that? I don't know. It's a bottom of bottle. Okay, that's a bottom of a bottle. It's been broken, and it's an interesting shape, actually. I like that. It's different. I don't know what I'd do with it, but I'd keep it anyway. So yeah, she has lots of gums on her gum trees on her property, and they've got really quite tall. And she's on kind of a bit of a hilltop where it does get quite windy. So trees do fall over, and if the tree falls over onto her house, then she loses her house, right? And she doesn't have insurance on her house. Susan, you know all about this stuff. And you don't put trees where your house is, because otherwise, if the house the tree gets on it, then it ruins your house. So anyway, she does have people have to come and chop the trees down. She doesn't like it, but she does that. And look, they do charge her, but they charge her kind of mate rates in exchange that mum cooks for them too. So when they come to mum's, she'll cook them lunch, and then she'll give them food to take home. So she has her own kind of barter system happening, and she gives a lot of stuff to neighbours. And in exchange, they come over and help. Like, for example, when we went to Indonesia, she went for a month. So she was away for a month. So she had neighbours to come over and actually look after her chickens and feed her geese, kind of thing. So that's really, that's quite nice, because otherwise she lives like an hour and 15 minutes away on a good time, like good traffic from where I live. So it would be hard for my partner to have to go up there all the time and feed the chickens. So it's nice to be able to have neighbours to do those kind of things. But what you're actually doing, Susan, that kind of straight swap, absolutely love that, because there's no money involved. Because back in the day, there was no money involved, back with caveman kind of times. People just, they swap things. I know we're not living in caveman times, but there might be time in the future that we might actually have to rely on our skills to to get by. So another thing I kind of think of is, like, what skills do I have that I could do? So Diego is a bit of a doomsday prepper. So, he's like thinking about, well, how would we cook if, that's a nice piece. How would we cook if, the electrical, the circuits went out and there was no electricity, and, what would we do? Because there was actually a time when we had there was a cyclone here, which is so rare, very unheard of in this area. We had a cyclone and we had no power for about 24 hours. But some people had no power for like 5 days in my area, right? And so they couldn't cook. We were able to cook because we've got a gas cooktop. But, what if it happens when you run out of gas, right? So Diego actually got, ooh, that is a bit of yellow. Kind of yellow, kind of beer bottle colour. I'm going to go with that's yellow, guys. Yeah, I knew, Susan, you'd be on this one. And Mike, you're saying, yes, that's why I like having camping stuff. You're right, yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like, how they say, to keep toilet paper. Oh my God. You know, I mean, in Australia, we had a big thing, Mike, where I don't know if it was the same in America, but my God, through the pandemic, toilet paper became a commodity that everyone seemed to want and bought too much of, right? And people will still have truckloads of it in their houses. And anytime you mention some kind of lockdown or something happening, with the weather, like for example, when the cyclone potentially was going to hit our region, and it did hit our region where I live, um, guess what? The first thing that went, toilet paper. There was no toilet paper on the shelves. And that's really hard because, like, some people live week to week, so they can't afford to buy a bulk of load of toilet paper. So when they come to buy toilet paper, there's no toilet paper. So that's hard. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that some people are doing bulk buying for different reasons, but being able to cook something and boil water and this is another thing. How are you going to get water right if your water systems are completely cut down? Or it's contaminated, because if there's no electricity, then the systems are not getting filtered properly. So how are you going to have drinking water? Because you can survive without food for a while, but you can't survive without water. You need water. I personally would love to learn how to make water from the sea, and there is ways of doing it. um, it's using like the sun and different kind of filtrations to filter out the salt in water. The salt, yeah, so that you could drink the salt water. I'd be curious how to make that kind of stuff. Like, I think that would be a really good adventure to learn, and how to actually rig solar. That's what I'd like to learn. Susan, do you know how to do that? I mean, I know, Mike, that would be part of your business. Do you do a bit of solar stuff? Hey, Heather, how you going? We were just talking about you, Heather, before. Hope your ears weren't burning. Nothing bad, nothing bad. I was just talking about, that we're gonna do something with jewelry. When I pull my finger out to get some wire. And we're talking about homesteading as usual. And I'm just asking Mike, because Mike, I don't know, Heather, have you met Mike? Mike Adventures Sparks? I think you have. Yes, I think you have. So I was asking, because Mike's an electrician, and I was asking, because we're talking about homesteading, do you know how to rig up solar? Because that's something that my mum is quite actually up with. Oh my gosh, that's a nice bit of, it's a green, lighty green chunk. Interesting. Oh, so you're a solar installer. Okay, Mike, you're on it. You know what you're doing. You're back from a scuba dive. Okay, guys, we have to change stations. We have to talk about Heather and her scuba diving. I know I said that I'd rather talk about a lot of stuff on our live, but okay, just tell us, how was the scuba diving today in Ireland? Does that mean you finished your PADI certificate? How, like, when I think of Ireland, I don't think of Ireland and diving. Are you the same, Susan and Mike? Do you ever think, oh yeah, I'll just go to Ireland to go diving? That's why I'm so curious, Heather. And if you're too busy, don't worry about it. Just, that's cool. I get it. You're living on the land too, so you're doing different things. But I can't wait to do a live with you and talk about, oh my gosh, homesteading, diving, lots of things. Lots of things. Hey, Alison! Everyone, living life after 55 is Alison. She is from America too. I don't know, some of you guys know Alison, but Alison is hilarious. Love Alison. Hey Al, how you going? So I've got to tell a funny story about Alison, guys, in the chat. I will turn you around. I mean, I won't say it in the chat. I will talk it through. So Alison was walking with me on my Walking with Purpose walk, and I happen to this day have been testing StreamYard on my phone. So StreamYard gives you the possibilities to add people. We're just walking along like this and go, oh, guess what, Alison? Do you want to just come in on the live and have a chat with me? So basically, you just put in the chat your like link to the StreamYard, and then they can like jump on the live. You don't, randoms can jump on, but you don't actually have to let them through. So anyway, I was saying how I wanted to do a jumping for joy. You know, guys, you see me jumping for joy at sunrise, but I wanted to do a jumping for joy. It's the first time I've ever done this. I said, who's up for doing a jumping for joy with me? I'll send you the link to my StreamYard and you can, jump for joy. So Alison's like, yeah, I'm in on that. So here she is in her bedroom, in her chair, jumping for joy. It was hilarious. And then we had Mel. Her channel's just changed, actually. It used to be Mel's Runs Things. She's from New Zealand, but she's now Relax with Melissa. That's her new channel name. And she sometimes drops in. But she was like cleaning in the kitchen. So she did a jumping for joy in her kitchen, and I'm doing a jumping for joy on the beach. And then we had some people in the chat, a guy called Hansel, also doing jumping for joy, but he didn't jump on the live. So it was the first time I've ever done a jumping for joy live with other people in other places. It was cool. That's just, honestly, Alison, that is my moment with you. Like, I will never forget that, and I'll just go smile always thinking of it. So that just shows you what kind of personality Alison has. She's amazing. Actually, Alison has a very interesting channel, guys. Now, this is the thing, Alison. People can't find your channel. I'll show you. I'm just going to do something here. It's hard to find Alison's channel because, Alison, I don't know if you realise this. Yes, it's 3 a.m. You're a bit of a night owl. But I don't know if you realise this, Alison. Your chat, it says living life after 55, which is kind of like your motto, but it's not your channel name. So if someone wants to try to find your channel, and it's not under Alison, it's under S something, S-I-L, I don't know what it stands for. But in the chat, can you put your link to your channel? Well, actually, people can click on your name there, living life after 55, and see your channel name. But yeah, your channel name is completely different to your name, Alison, or living life after 55. So just wanted, because sometimes I try to find your channel and I can never find it because I'm looking sometimes for looking for that. Yeah, I don't know. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Alison? Like, for example, in my chat, if I'm chatting on a live, I put my name as Exploradora80 because that's my handle. So if someone wants to find me, they can just find me under Exploradora80. And Mike's in the chat. So Mike is a fellow American to you. He's from Minnesota, and he has an adventure channel. So I met him in some comments somewhere and thought, yeah, let's make friends with another channel that's got adventure in it. And that's actually how his channel is. It's Mike Adventures Sparks. And Alison, I don't know if you've met Heather's Backyard. Maybe you have. I can't keep on track on who knows who these days. But I know Alison. I don't know if you know Susan. Her channel is High Country Homestead. Okay, so Alison and Susan are connected already. I'm not laughing, but I'm just laughing at the comment. I think you've met Heather. If not, Heather has an amazing channel. She's from Canada, but just recently in the last year and a half probably, moved to Ireland to be with her husband's family, or be with her husband living in Ireland. So she documents her life living on a farm in Donegal, County Donegal, and travelling. And she just went diving today. And that's something that you don't hear of in Ireland. Like, you don't think of going to Ireland and going diving. But I guess if you live in Ireland and you want to go diving, well, you've got to go diving in Ireland. If that made any sense. Yeah, just saying. And actually, Susan, your channel is also different to what you have in here too, Susan. I don't know if you realise that too, because I actually try to go looking for you, Susan, High Country Homestead. And when I Google High Country Homestead in the search bar, that's not your channel name either. So I know you guys can click on the link because I've made you moderators so that you guys can see each other's channels. But if you look, you can actually see that High Country Homestead is actually not the name of your channel when you look it up. And same with Alison, Living Life After 55, that's not the name of your channel either. And I hope I'm actually telling like not bullshitting here, but I do actually kind of find your guys' channel to connect. Because you know, when you start following lots of people, it's hard to find people's channels. Like, stuff doesn't come down on your feed. So you know, I do actually go looking for it, especially so Alison does these funny skits. I can never get this right. Is she Hilda or is she Mitzi? There's Mike. You're gonna laugh at this, right? I'm talking about Living Life After 55, who is actually, her name is Alison. She does these shorts and she goes into a character, like she doesn't dress, but she changes her voice and she calls herself Hilda. Or is it Mitzi? One or the other. And then there's another YouTube channel called Miss Paula Does Retirement, and she is either Mitzi or Hilda. And so they do these back and forths, like, Mitzi, I'm trying to get hold of you. Please answer your phone. And then Hilda will do one back. I'm busy. I've been milking a cow. And like, it's just hilarious. Like, honestly, there was one the other day. They're like pretending to do a road trip together. They've never met. They're good friends, but they've never met. And they're talking about how they're going to do a road trip together. I was pissing myself laughing. I said, I'd pay to see that like road trip. It'd be so funny. Anyway, maybe you have to be there, but I thought it was funny. And I think other people thought it was funny, Alison. So, Mike, if that is all floats your boat, trust me, it's worth a little look. Her shorts are hilarious. Okay, so even Susan said she's just watched one of her skits. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, Paula's Hilda, Alison is Mitzi. And you know I'll forget that next time anyway. Okay, Paula is Hilda. Alison is Mitzi. Will I remember that next time? Oh, that's right, your grandma. So that's where that came from, right? Both your grandmas are called Hilda and Mitzi. So is that where the actual skit came from? I love that. Because actually, Alison, I jumped onto Hilda's. I had to go look at the chat then. Hilda's, as in Paula's live the other day. And just to confuse things, Paula has now another channel. Sorry, I'm just burping away here. She has another channel, a religious channel, Bible studies or something. So she was doing a live from that channel, and you know there was lots of people there. So I dropped in to say hello. Her husband had just seen a mountain lion. I'm like, where the hell do you live? But yeah, they were talking about your skits, and that your grandmother was Mitzi and Hilda. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. So that's really where the skits, the name came from. I love that. Aww. I love that, Alison. Honestly, you guys need to do more of that stuff, because I reckon the amount of people that laugh at that stuff is, yeah, I mean, I laugh at it. It's hilarious. Oh, they were real life best friends. So obviously they've passed away now. You have one coming up. Another skit. Cool. Excellent. Can't wait to see that. So guys, I'm about to get back to my car. So I'm just going to start saying winding down. It is the 31st of August here. No, 31st of July. Oh my God. 31st of July. It is 7:53 a.m. on Thursday morning. It's the last day of this month. And we're in August. I can't believe it, guys. I'm sure you can't believe it either. It's been an amazing month, guys. I've loved July. July has been a month that I was trying to do, well, I did. I've been doing a live pretty much every day just to try, to see what that would bring. And it was a bit crazy to do it while I was doing all this training and blah, blah, blah. Life's been a little chaotic, as it is. We're busy being busy. But I did want to stick at it. Some really amazing things came from doing these lives, guys. I've really met some really nice people. I mean, I know you guys, I know you already, like, as in I know, wow, that's a nice chunk, guys. Glasses. I like that bit. I've met, a lot of you guys I've already known through your channels, but getting to talk to you on a live is a completely different kind of scenario. Like, for example, Paul D Australia that I, talk a lot in my chat to. We've followed each other for a while on videos, but we've never really, connected. Like, as in, you might have a little chat in the comments, but you don't really learn that much, right? And what you put on your videos is it's edited. It's, what you want to show. Whereas when you do a live, you kind of, it is what it is. It's raw. It's uncut. There's a burp there. There's a fart there. Whatever it might be. I'm not saying I farted, but you know what I'm saying. It's real. It's happening. And in the comments, you guys can communicate to me and ask me questions and have chats to yourself with other people. And I learn different things. So I really wanted to do this month to see what it was to do a live and how, what I get out of it. And I've got so much out of it, guys. I've really learned some really cool things. Things about myself, things about you guys, things about YouTube. And people have said to me, well, are you going to continue on with these lives? And yeah, I will, but I'm probably not going to do every day. I think that's a bit excessive. There was a bit there where I was doing like 2 or 3 lives a day just because I wanted to show you. Well, the day I did that big walk, I did about 5 or 6 lives that day. That was very excessive, but there was something going on. So anyway, I'm not saying that this is goodbye, good luck, goodbye, good luck. See you in the next live. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I really thank you guys for, being in the chat. All you guys, there's lots of interesting people have jumped on. Lots of people that I've never met before have just, jumped on a live and we've become friends. Like, I don't know, that's a nice chunk. So anyway, I'm just trying to say, guys, thank you for, giving some time to spend with me while I walk on the beach or walk somewhere. Time is precious, I get that. So I appreciate your time. Well, that's what I'm trying to say, guys. I appreciate your time. So yeah, I do appreciate your time. This is my beach. I'm very grateful that I get to call this home. It is 7:56. I have to get home, get ready to go to work. And yeah, I wish you the good end of your days or the good start of your days, like for Susan. And yeah, I'll be here somewhere. Oh, well, thank you, Heather, seeing my lives. Like I said, I'm not going away, but I just maybe the month of July. Yeah, like I said, I just want to say that July has been an awesome month. It's been a different month, being on lives a lot. I've shared a lot. You guys have got to know me a lot more, probably a lot more than you wanted to know. But sharing's caring. So have an awesome day, guys, or have a nice end of your day, guys. And yeah, Susan, I will be in touch with email. Heather, I will be in touch with email too, because we need to organise a date to do a live. Mike, really great to get to know you too. And yeah, Alison, you love it. Mitzi, no, yeah, I love you, Mitzi. I'm just laughing at Mitzi and Hilda. Okay, guys.